So basically, on a different note, I realized meeting the guys that I have absolutely failed at delivering the concept of. Okay, so it's surreal. For me, it's surreal. What is a campaign? A marketing campaign. It makes sense. And I tried to explain it as if I want to go and sell something for somebody on the street, do I really just go to him and be like, bottle of water, you want to buy or no? How efficient is that? Granted, 3 out of every 10 people might say yes, 5 out of every 10 people might say yes. But if I go like, hey man, did you drink enough water today? Did you drink enough water today? Enough people would probably be like, no, I should probably drink more. You drove their thought process towards going, and I could always drink a bit more water. And then you go like, you want one. Suddenly, you took an extra step to kind of like push the thought process towards a necessity, a need. And I tried my best to kind of explain the theory that I have behind how I want to actually implement the campaign. And I really think they were stuck behind the whole concepts instead of the physical reality because they're used to like, I need to build a tank. Pop, here's a tank. I built it. I finished my job. Thinking makes no sense for somebody who doesn't think. Like their job is not thinking, it's processing. They literally know the things they would have to do in order for the job to get done. The thinking process is literally looking at what they're doing from a different angle. And that's something they rejected fully because I was trying to like approach it from a let's write a report on a daily basis. But I wanted them to share it with me and I wanted them to kind of like reflect on it in order for them to become more efficient. But maybe that's naive from my side because they instantly took it like this is a report that's being given to the boss and now that their jobs are being threatened or something like this. So stupid, man. So stupid. But it's not their fault, it's mine. I mean, like, these are legitimate fears that I don't have because I probably prefer to kind of like die from hunger than actually, I don't know, live in fear. But again, I say this stuff, and when the time came and I was like freaking the fuck out, I chose to change locations. The smartest thing in the world. Uh, I don't know. I really think there's like a gap that I failed to see, and I consistently fail to see with people. And I always kind of thought that I was the way I saw the world, people see the world. And even though I tried, I got on meetings with them, but all the meetings did was stress them out even more. Instead of just having them kind of, I don't know, like I felt like we were working together, but the reality is there was never an us. There was a me, and they didn't know what to do. So they were forcing themselves to follow what I am talking about in order for them to actually, in order for them to actually understand, keep their jobs, sorry. And it's a horrible way to kind of like build a relationship. Nothing about what I thought was happening was genuine and real. They literally just got on the meetings for the sake of the meeting. I don't know if we can call this a rigid mentality or or just a mentality that cannot afford to look beyond what's in front of it. I don't know what to say. Like any time I question my failure towards it, I can't even point like from the beginning it was a failure. I traveled, I spent a week there. And it was a decent vibe over there. Like we were like hyped up, we were energetic, we were like creating stuff. I thought they were with me, but the reality is, uh, I was under an illusion, and the owner was under an illusion. Even they were under an illusion. There's one thing struck me that kind of like pissed me off because I looked at them. I was like, this company can't go anywhere unless you guys grow. And they were like, we're growing with the company. I'm like, no, well, this company's been the same for how long? Because you're not really growing with the company. The company is growing, and you're just like moving with its growth. But for the company to truly grow, you guys need to grow. And the whole point was to focus on themselves and kind of like what they can do differently and better for their own sake, because that supports their job, right? Like if I get better at doing my job, like then until the company actually grows and I have more responsibilities. But I think that's what kind of what probably like pushed them off, because them actually like getting more responsibilities, that means doing more work for the same pay. And like when I was talking to the guy, I was talking to him about bonuses and shit like this. And he said that's what he was thinking as well, but that could also be bullshit. That could also be bullshit. So I don't know, man. Uh, I'm upset. I really think the company is not really going to. Something very wrong might happen, and I hope it doesn't. And something very wrong from as simple as one of the guys quitting, or all of them quitting, to something deeper, to the actual owner stresses out to a point where he kind of like has one of those breakdowns. I'm not sure. I don't know. The vibe, I'm not gonna lie, the vibe that they showed me this week, even though when I went there, I got the same vibe as like when I was in Africa. Like everything is a rush, everything is survival mode. When I went there, that's what I got. But this week, but I never thought they were in survival mode. I thought they were kind of like the company's big enough for them to kind of be able to kind of chill and start plan and take a step back and observe and assess and all that stuff. That wasn't the case at all. And I fear that this is just like what they're doing is they're building on top of the illusion that everything's fine. They're building on top of just more needs to happen. They're building on top of if we do this, things will change. If we do this, things will change. And just like these concepts are super, they sap you off your reasoning. They sap you off your of the connection you have with what's really going on ground. And ultimately, what you're doing is you're basically forcefully building on something that's weak and fragile. And at one point, something's going to like get loose, break. And when that happens, we're lucky if all we get is just a few broken bones. Most of these times, like a lot of shit will happen. And then before you notice it, like everything kind of like creeps up on you. And piled up stress that you've been kind of avoiding, like jumps up on you. Failed systems that have been like patched up, right? Suddenly are collapsing one after the other. You really have to think about it like as a car, and the more you abuse that car, the more issues it gets. The more you patch it up, the more abuse you give it, the more the patches basically start creating more issues. And the evolution of kind of like sadness, and eventually just watching it all kind of like disintegrate or disseminate and go pop, done. Cool beans, man. When people say you have a lot to learn, you kind of like hope that something is going to the other side, but like I really feel like I have not succeeded in anything when it comes to these guys. Like I probably have a good plan. I probably have a good like setup. I probably have a good marketing campaign. I probably have a good. We still haven't designed the actual posts that we want to do, but the process is there, and the research was about to start this month. It's just good times, man. Yeah, guys, man, when they let loose, they ripped me a new one hard. They were like literally they were fucking frustrated, man. Just like I was very much like, holy shit. I could not see. I thought they were just being assholes when they wouldn't talk to me. I thought they were just being like, who the fuck does he think he is? But it was legitimate frustration. Like, how the fuck do they work? What kind of conditions were they working in? And I had no clue. Heh. One of the things I need to learn is to be more in touch with the reality around me instead of like imprinting what I would want out of it. I don't know what I'd name this one, but sudden shift in reality would be a good like. Thank you for listening, baby.